Bat Force Radio.
Bat Force Radio is rated M for mature, or should that be immature?
Grumps and Gramps, tons of laughs with Grumps and Gramps. Grumps and Gramps, tons of laughs with Grumps and Gramps. Grumps and Gramps, tons of laughs with Grumps and Gramps.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us again for another episode of Grumps and Gramps. This is actually a Teezus Takeover.
G&T, baby.
G&T.
It's been done before.
Joining me from the dirty Jersey is Teezus.
Believe.
How's it going, man?
Good. It's been already a long week, but
Oh yeah.
we're pushing through it, man.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's been a long week.
Yeah.
We started
a little Q&A with our little collab with NECA, so that's a really nice little prelude to what we're gonna do next week.
That is
That Bat Force name out there with some big brands and help them, promote this amazing product that's coming out. So
yes, and that is a great tease. Teezus, you're not only a teaser, but dealing with the t-shirts, but also you're a great teaser. If you're watching this, please tune in next week. We have some very special announcements and opportunity to talk to some big industry people with some new exciting products that are coming out. And stay tuned and be sure to tune in next week.
Yep. It'll be cut just in time for the Flash movie, so I think this will be a really good opening for us right before the Flash movie drops, because we're going to be doing a lot of coverage. So we're going to talk about this Bat Belt with some creators and talk about the process. So I'm really excited, and also we're excited to kind of share this scope with everyone else, because we all get it, we grab and go, we grab figures, and people have a lot of complaints or they really love something, but it's important to see the process and how long things take and the amount of detail that it takes and TLC that it takes to make a product. So, it's great to see more behind the scenes, because that's what we want.
That'll be definitely interesting, because, the toy making and collectible making process is not something that just happens in a span of 30 days, right? I mean, I think years of planning and design, and then production, and then transport, then distribution. I mean, we're talking.
Yeah, you look like, if you're lucky, it's a year, but I think it's like a year and a half. It's an 18-month process, because you're sculpting and you're getting approvals and you're doing 3D rendering, then you're painting. So it'll be cool that for guys like us to really start meeting up with creators that get this done, so we can really fully understand the craft,
Right.
When you know that, you can start justifying why certain things cost so much, because it's really an art form.
Well, not just that, but having a little more patience than what some people in the collecting community tend to have. I get it when you've seen a little bit or talk to people a little bit that are on the inside and know the issues, but also know the process. But right. we're trained so much now to gimme now, and I get it. You know what I mean? Hell, that Keaton 89 Mezco figure took 3 years. That was an issue that, okay, yes, it took so long, and I hate to harp back on that thing, but a little more transparency and communication could have been offered to appease the masses, that were expecting a product 2 years before. But, in the end, I think I've said this before. It was just really my theory that there was kind of a pause button that was pressed saying, hold off, because we've got a movie coming out, and this is going to do is just generate more in the hype echo chamber and get people excited for that. So,
yeah, for sure.
And that's kind of a perfect segue for some of the new stuff that we've actually acquired within the last month. I think it's been about 4 weeks. We're averaging about a show a month. Really, really hustling there, but life happens. But
Sure.
I know both of us got our hands on the McFarlane Flash Batmobile,
And it's still very sought after. From what I see, people have that pre-order on Amazon. A lot of people's orders got canceled. A lot of
it's
people
sold out.
Yeah,
You cannot find another one.
right.
I actually had 2 ordered, and I canceled one. Now I wish I kind of had kept it. Obviously, there's some design differences between this version and the true 89 Batman, more specifically like in the canopy height. But overall, man, I gotta say, I'm very happy with this, that we actually have it in like a 1/12, 1/10 scale that works with, or can work with, our figures that we have, whether that's just sitting on a shelf or in some photos. Straight out of the box, this thing is beautiful.
For sure. And again, I mean, it actually looks, as per this concept or production photo, it looks like this one has the gray canopy on it.
Yeah, that was one thing that was
obviously in that shot you're not getting it, but
you
in
can't
person we're getting that dark gray canopy, and
yeah,
I'm convinced that was a production flaw. I would be
I don't know
if it was anything different, because when you compare it to the artwork on the box, clearly it's different. And I think there was a timing issue where it came closer to production, and maybe there was a factory flaw or some kind of miscommunication, or maybe something with availability that they had to shift to this gray canopy. So,
yeah, for those of you watching, you can see that the body is this real shiny satin black,
mm-hmm.
and then the canopy is actually a darker gray. It's not, it does not match the rest of the body. And seeing it in hand, you can really tell a difference. These photos don't do it justice.
It definitely helps the situation.
Yeah. And, you may be right. It may be something where that was a mistake.
Right.
Here's my suspicion, because you know how toy manufacturers like to work, especially when they have a mold of something. Right. I think they're saving a second edition for a deluxe that's going to come with, a special figure that you have to buy with that. And this will have the correct black canopy. Or it could be where, because the difference in this one with the 89 is that the height of that canopy, right? I mean, it looks fine. I like it. I don't care. A lot of people are complaining that it's too tall. It works. It fits with the figure. It allows Batman's ears to close over it.
Right.
They may be coming out with a second version that has the smaller, more narrow canopy. Who knows?
Yeah, and another speculation is like they're referencing the Batman 89 one, but maybe licensing wise they had to make a small tweak to differentiate and classify it as a Flash Batmobile.
And maybe that's how it is in the movie. We don't know yet because we haven't seen the movie. I can't imagine it.
Yeah, it could very well be.
It very well could be. I actually have mine completely taken apart. I've seen a lot of guys where they wanted to repaint it, you know, more of the flat black that is in the style of the 89 movie. And I thought that looked great. So I watched some guys, how they painted it, and thought, you know what, I'm just going to dive in. And I went and bought some, it's actually a primer plus black flat spray paint. And one of those little grip things that you can have a little bit more control of, you know, applying it. And first time through was a complete disaster.
Did you like freak out? You're like, man, I think I lost one. I think I lost this Batmobile.
Oh, I'm still in the freak out mode right now because listen, so I painted it, and you know, with this paint, to get it to look good, sometimes you gotta kind of put it on a little thick. Well, the contours and the curves of this Batmobile made some, I guess I put too much on in certain areas.
Right, so it got gloppy.
Got gloppy and pulled up and just looked nasty. And while the paint was still wet, I had like a paper towel, and I was like, well, let me just smooth that out. And I smudged it. And I was like, well, I got to fix that. Pretty soon it was terrible. It literally looked like the Batmobile had driven through a burned building and had soot and residue. It looked battle damaged. And I was like, okay, if I want to go for the battle damage look, this actually looks really cool. But I don't want that. So I had to go buy some, I don't know what the brand was. Basically, paint removal stripper and some mini they're paper, but they're like very microfiber. They're almost like cloth.
Okay.
And remove all the paint. I thought I was just going to remove the paint that I put on. No, I removed all the paint down to the plastic without the, you know, McFarlane production paint. I removed it all.
Jesus Christ.
And
what was the base color? Gray?
It was a very light, kind of matte looking gray.
Oh, perfect. It'll match the canopy.
And I was like, it actually kind of did. And I was like, actually, this may work out better. So I improved my paint application technique, got it smooth, and then brought it inside, and I'm getting ready to do the details. And then I realized, like, in the middle of the hood is a button, and that's the trigger to open the canopy. So what I had done is I had painted, and that paint had dried, and the button wouldn't mash down.
Right.
Also, the canopy at the back wouldn't open because the paint had dried. So I had to take it apart. I had to take a screwdriver, and there were 11 screws on the bottom. Had to take those all out, pry that thing open, and there's still like some interior glue in certain spots, just a small little bit of glue. But basically pry it and pop the top off there, and then get in and unscrew the seat chamber,
right,
and the trigger button, and then take an X-Acto knife and just cut away the paint.
Jeez.
I'm still working on the canopy. That's why I'm in freak out mode.
I have a few friends that legitimately just applied matte paint finish on it. It was like a matte coating, and apparently that got the job done.
Well, they're smarter than I am.
Yeah,
I'm just following the instructions of some other guy I watched.
Yeah.
I do love the look that I got on the paint. It's just that I made a mistake of painting the button and the canopy closed. And now once I get that, I'll be good. I just got to work on the details.
Yeah, it's definitely a learning experience, and
Definitely a learning experience. I had seen one other guy do it, and he took his all the way apart and then painted it. And I was like, you know what? This looks super easy. I don't need to do that. Lesson learned.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's part of, it's part of experimenting. You're customizing. You have to kind of learn how things work. And sometimes you take a loss, and sometimes it's a big home run. And, thankfully, these are not like, hundreds of dollars. And you're taking a calculated risk. But I'm sure you'll get there, and a lot of these finishes that a lot of people have done with the mat, I think looks really cool. It's a very cool display piece.
Yeah. And I mean, you actually could leave it as is. I mean, the shiny looks great too. The shiny finish that comes, in the box looks more like Batman Returns. But, I just wanted to go for that matte look. I thought it looked really cool. Eventually I'll get there.
And then your wife was like, nailed it.
Yeah, right. She's more like, how much longer is this thing going to be sitting on my table?
Yeah, she's like, I can't deal with the smell anymore. Get this out of here.
Oh man. So yeah.
But overall, I've seen it open. I have not opened mine, but for the price, I think it's a very good value for the size, for the attention to details. There's not too many complaints,
No.
For me, the only gripe is like, I'll get my canopy painted, but I'm not worried that it's too low or too high.
No, it looks great.
I feel like with vehicles, people they expect them to be so movie accurate that, like you said before, there's compensation for an action figure, and that's simple math. And you need to make this action figure sit up, and not all action figures are perfect in proportion. So you have to kind of make these modifications based on that. It's not about being a movie accurate prop. It's about being a functional toy at the end of the day, right?
At the end of the day, yep, you're right. Yeah, and I was even impressed with like the interior cockpit has dials and buttons, and it looks like a cockpit. Now, this one is a little different than the 89 because the 89 was a two-seater, right?
Right.
He had Vicky Vale sitting by his side. This one, the steering wheel is more in the middle, kind of like a race car. But you can. I've seen a guy convert it to a two-seater, but you don't need to. All right. This is actually right up my alley. I think this went on pre-order. What is it? Today's Wednesday. We're recording on Wednesday. This went up on Tuesday.
Yeah, this got revealed yesterday, right?
Yeah. And I was not surprised. I was very happy because we're getting the next Joker out of the Medicom MAFEX line. This is where he's in the little, I don't know what color this jacket is, but it's kind of the, it's whatever he wears on the David Endocrine show.
Right.
And we get an alternate head where, he's making his grand entrance to the.
He is so sassy looking. I love it.
Yeah, and also it looks like we're getting some lipstick, the Mind Spell lipstick that he uses to get that one senator guy to jump off the roof and control Selena Kyle. And we're getting some cotton candy that he gives out to kids. What I like is all these different variations of the head sculpts and accessories. Like the cotton candy, though, should have came with the white suit.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's how they get you, right? They're not going to give you everything at once. They're going to make you buy all these alternate versions. And what's great is that they all work with each other. So, you can use the cotton candy for the other figure and all the various head sculpts as well. So
Yeah, I'm actually looking at my MAFEX Joker, and this one is a major upgrade. This one, the previous release, very matte looking. The suit is like a light gray. The expression is very very stoic. And I think the best part of the previous one is obviously the battering in the eyeball in the eye.
right.
But yeah, I think MAFEX. What I like about this release is that it's done within reason. It's like, hey, they're capturing that one moment where he's in the show. They brought a lot more details into his suit. Um, the other head sculpt is more fitting to the Frank Miller Joker. He's
Right.
he's a little sassy and he has like some, arrogance to him a little bit. And what we do like about the Mayfix, like you said, they're customizable. You can start taking this head sculpt and move it to other
Mhm.
variations of the figures very easily.
Yep.
So definitely, definitely a win. I'm definitely going to go for him. And it's one of those things where, like I said before, it makes sense. Where I felt like the other variations of Batman were kind of just done for the sake of just creating another Batman, and you know the inconsistencies in the logos and also just a couple of details just doesn't take it to the next level for guys like you and me that love this story so much.
Yeah.
Not that it's a cash grab, but I just don't understand why it just wasn't done correctly sometimes. But again, that comes with licensing, and when you deal with a comic that was let's say 35 years ago or whatever, things change, and licensors have different rules. So you just roll with the punches, and just it's exciting that they're still pumping out Dark Knight Returns
Oh, I know. I mean,
stuff, and now you have a lot more flexibility, a lot more better articulation, a lot more, even down to that detail of that suit that we just saw, like the tweed. It looks like he has a
oh
really
yeah.
kind of like a tweed twill looking suit. So very cool. I can see you doing some toy photography in like
Oh, for sure.
a TV show setting where he's there's a host and he's sitting down, and so
Now I need a Dr. Ruth figure. Zex and Zex and Zex. And I'm also looking for, because all this does is get me more hyped for the next one, which will be the black and white pinstripe. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we get Bobby the Bomb with that. If anyone's familiar with the story, Bobby is the kind of robotic little, he looks like a boy, but he's the flying, I don't know, missile that releases all the toxic gas at the David Innekin show and kills the crowd. And Joker rides on top of him. It's total ridiculous. I mean, the physics behind it can never work in real life, obviously, but it's just amazing.
I
And
hope that there's opportunity to expand the DKR mythos in Mayfex, even down to like the equestrian Clark, or
oh yeah,
just or give us that set, where he's kind of built in, because obviously I think you and me were not so hyped about the horse set.
well, I'm glad you mentioned that,
Hmm? Yeah.
because I caved.
Okay. I mean, it's your favorite series, right? So it's like
I
it's not
caved.
it
I,
wasn't a
I went.
bad move. I
I
don't
went.
think.
Well, I went ahead, yeah, because I really like the. I really like. I mean, even though it's not the right symbol on the chest, I really like the figure with the black, and it's the long black cape, not the short black cape.
Right.
Because if anyone has the two figures, the blue has a very long flowing cape, and the black, the first one, has a very short cape. Well, this new one has has the long version, which looks great. And it actually fits the comic because when he's on the horse, you can see the cape a lot better.
Right.
But I caved. I'll be getting that too.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it wasn't a bad move. I think the only downside was that the horse just did not have any real articulation, and it
No.
being more similar to the statue that you and me both have behind our shoulders.
Right.
The classic pose, but it's still a win. In the world of toy photography, you're not going to be posing the horse like crazy. You're going to kind of capture that moment. So
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
yeah, McFarlane did it in the Build-A-Figure, so
Right.
it was decent.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. And we've got
Definitely a win for MAFEX. I think they keep on moving forward. They never compromise on execution or quality or details. So, MAFEX just keep pumping that out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're definitely one of my top favorite lines that I collect right now. I've got a lot of MAFEX.
Yeah, people just don't talk about it enough. Maybe more in the Marvel world for Spider-Man. I think, they have that Spider-Man look unlocked, but
mhm.
in the DC world, if it's not Batman, then they're not really investing too much into the properties as much as we want, I think. So
They've actually started expanding into other franchises. I mean, starting to see Star Wars. They've got a new
cool.
Darth Vader coming out. They've got.
I would definitely be down for that for Vader.
Oh, he looks great.
Yeah.
He looks great. What's that? Rosario Dawson plays that Jedi girl. Ahsoka?
Ahsoka, yeah.
Ahsoka? Yeah. They've got her coming out. She looks great.
Nice.
I think they've also got a Boba Fett, C-3PO.
Yeah, they'll just go through
more. They've got some stormtroopers. Yeah.
I was about to say they're definitely going to do an army build.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
going to be an expensive army build, but
yeah,
you figure it out.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. This is something that you and I both jumped on.
We tend to do these things together. Well, it's become like a ritual. Like, hey, it's your alarm.
We're enabling each other.
That's okay. In this case, yeah.
Yeah. So this was another one of the Figura Obscura releases from the Four Horsemen. And this one was really like about as obscure as I think you can, as they come, right?
Sure.
Because I don't think it really fits into their other lines, but
right.
It's so cool. It's just unique. I don't know of any other toy line that has made this. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, we're leading up to the Monkey King. I mean, look at this thing. It's absolutely beautiful. Look at that armor. And the soft goods, the little sash belt.
Right.
I mean, this dude, I mean, you can use him in several,
I think he fits in the majority of any licenses that collectors collect, whether it's TMNT movie, I mean, literally anything. I mean, he's very hyper realistic, and he looks he almost looks humanoid, but
he's gonna look great going against some Thundercats.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we had that conversation before we bought it, where you were kind of mapping out what you wanted to do, and it definitely has like a Planet of the Apes vibe, because it has that humanoid sense that and it's gorgeous. Yeah, the paint applications are highly detailed. The metallic accents, where it's mimicking brass, looks real. I love this, the beads and like the unexpected colors. I think it makes him look very tribal, but it also makes him look like a samurai. So
Yeah.
and his posing is graceful. The way that 1/6 shooter kind of captured the articulation, you're gonna get a pretty decent to high articulated figure for the money. So I can't wait, man. I'm excited. I think they said I think it's gonna be late July, possibly, but
Yeah.
they do a beautiful job with the packaging. It's highly collectible.
Oh yeah.
I think they're just one of those brands where, like, when you buy it, the packaging is highly detailed, and you're not going to throw out the box in this case.
No, never.
Right. It's not like a McFarlane where it's like everything has the same box and you're tossing it. This one is like, all right, I might kind of maybe put the figure back or use the backdrops or just keep it because it's done with a lot of TLC, a lot of attention.
Well, I hope that that box has that magnetic background, kind of like what came with the Headless Horseman, so you can take some photos, kind of like that.
I feel like they're all magnetic. I think they did that with Krampus too.
Right.
That seems to be their MO, especially for the price point, because you are paying a premium, but you're also getting a high quality. Every headless horse, not horseman, 4 horsemen product that we've gotten, I don't think they've skimped out on anything. They're like a more smaller MAFEX to me in regards to attention and quality.
Yeah.
You get out what you pay for sure.
Yeah.
There's no skimping out the details and the paint. There's no compromising. It's a really great product.
It is, and what I really like is it feels sturdy in hand.
Right.
Like I haven't had one yet where the joints just feel loose and limp, and I have trouble posing. They're really well constructed. I really like that. And they're, like you said, he can fit into whatever property line that you want. He lets you, use your imagination.
Yeah. I think that's where the 4 Horsemen studio has their niche, where they let you kind of I think they're made for customizers if you want. That's like the whole point. You can have it as you want, or you can customize it or mash it up in a photo, or you can literally mock up, make paint updates as needed.
Oh yeah.
It's your money. It's like you do what you want,
Right. Yeah.
So it's cool, man. And it gears more towards fantasy. You don't see a lot of brands that really have that, hold the reins on that, where it's not very geeky looking and nerdy, but it's like very cool fantasy where it's mystic, and it's like you can, like you said, you can mash these kind of medieval looking characters or with literally anybody. So makes it more interesting.
Well, what other toy company has their own convention?
Local convention, yeah.
Yeah, they have. What is it called? Legion Con?
Legion Con, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think you're thinking about going to.
I need to. Kind of need to look at some logistics and finances on that.
I mean, you have a place in Jersey already that you can go to, so. And
right.
You already have an Uber driver that's going to pick you up, so.
There you go.
Saving a few bucks already.
What's stopping me?
You've got your ticket covered.
All right. Moving on. I know this is something you're very excited about.
Yeah.
We got recently the announcement of the Kino action figure from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, this is
actually revealed by the actor himself, Ernie Reyes Jr.
Reyes, for sure. And yeah, I think NECA is starting to kind of jumpstart the road to SDCC. So a lot of times I think NECA shines the most where their biggest releases for San Diego are always based around Ninja Turtles. So they had Ernie Reyes kind of just drop the bomb on this first release here. So this is going to be the Kino figure. It's going to come in a pizza box for the Roy's Pizza, which is, I believe it comes with a T-shirt and some other stuff. So it's cool. Yeah, I think people are, it's highly collectible. People are going to just jump on it and get it at the con and pre-order it online. And I think for you, Gramps, I know you don't go deep into turtles, but there's a couple of cool props in there that, I think Kino could kind of fall as in your realm of like lifestyle, everyday characters. But
Right.
the mopeds and this other stuff is really cool for other scenarios. So
Definitely.
I think, he comes with a pizza box. He comes with all these other accessories. So definitely cool.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Is that going to be SDCC exclusive or not?
So I believe, yeah, SDC exclusive. It will be that version where you can just, and it's cool because I think legitly, I think it's delivered in a pizza box.
That's amazing.
Every person at Comic-Con is going to be, fucking holding this shit all day. But
that's some brilliant marketing.
It is. Shout out to the NECA team for whipping that up. But
yeah, it was pretty smart.
No, it's fun. It'll do well, and who knows? Maybe they'll deconstruct a more basic version, but I really doubt it, to be honest. Like, people will have to go on the NECA store and just pre-order it, and just. I'm sure it'll be available as long as you jump within those windows of time. Then you just, you get it.
Now, there was also something else you sent me that teases something new on the horizon. Tell me more about this, man.
So this is the silhouettes of the Samurai Turtles from the third Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. So people were hyped for this. I was able to see some of it in the studio, but it's cool. People, I think I'm seeing a lot of kids that are a lot younger than me. I feel like this may have been their first Ninja Turtles movie. As bad as it was, aesthetically, they're really cool looking turtles. So people love it too, because this is kind of when it first came out in the market in the early 90s, or the figures, this was kind of like your first experience with like movie related action figures that were remotely close to how they looked. So to me, having them, even down to like the second Turtles movie, when I had the figures growing up, I was like, wow, this is straight out of the movie.
Right.
Flashback 30 years later, you're going to get these amazing looking figures that look like they're legitly from the movie. So,
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't have any, but I have seen a lot of the Gremlins figures.
That's the thing about Gremlins is like, and they just revealed a commercial today. That's another deep dive. It's like when you do Gremlins, that's like you're doing Predator.
Yes.
It's like, when do you stop? Where do you
you don't?
Where do you start and when do you stop? Right?
Yeah.
Because there's just in the movies there's so many different Gremlins. So many. But it's an army build and it's like different variations and
yeah. I love that movie. I love that movie. And when
I have any just hanging out around.
When they came out, I was like, oh man, this is dangerous.
Yeah, I thought I had one hanging around, but these things are, this big. Like, they're not small. They are very built, and the details are very specific, and
oh yeah,
they're great. But
they look amazing.
What are you gonna do with 25 of them?
Yeah.
But, no, Gremlins is such a classic movie, and I always talk about that with my coworkers. I'm like, is that a movie that should be rebooted? And most people say no, because it is perfect in its own genre. But who knows? I think it'd be cool to be revisited. Like, bring back that universe. You don't have to say you're rebooting it, but just like Indiana Jones or some other, just like horror movies like Evil Dead, revamp the universe and then kind of build into it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that way it kind of gets people excited about the predecessors as well.
Right.
So
Now, continuing in that vein, I've been seeing this figure on the shelves, and every time I see it, I was like, I wonder if Teezus has this or likes this. I know, you know me. I'm not going into the turtles because that is such a deep dive. It's like everybody's doing turtles, and once you start, forget it. You're done.
right.
But I really like the look of this guy, and right now the story is red hot, and this is the Target exclusive Last Ronin.
Yep. This is the one that you were surprising me with.
Yes, this
Yeah,
is the surprise.
this is coming off of a haul-a-thon.
Mhm.
I think this was the first haul-a-thon of this year. And I think NECA is going to just continue to deliver some exclusives through Target. And
Well, it's really cool that they're pumping this thing out so like right in line with the story. That's
yeah,
pretty fast turnaround.
for sure. I don't see it stopping. They're already into the prequel called The Lost Years. So this is very cool because you could, and I know you're a fan of this stuff because it is a gritty looking turtle, but this could instantly be a lighting effect where it's just casted, in the realm of, it's the nighttime and he's emerging and he's all red. But the wash and the paint job on this is really great. It's really exaggerated.
I,
It makes him look really gritty, which I love.
yeah, I mean, I've seen some people pose him in like a dark lit photo with just minimal lighting, and he just really pops. I think it's based on a cover. I could be wrong.
Mhm. And it's a cool gimmick because it's a Target exclusive and Target likes to do red
Red,
takeovers, so it's like
yeah,
boom boom. It's like, yeah, it's a reference and a homage to a certain comic or cover, but it's also a Target exclusive, so
right.
it's very fitting. And I haven't heard any complaints about that one or any of the Ronin figures. Again, like,
Do you have the regular one?
yeah, I do. I have all of them. I
Yeah,
haven't opened them, but one is armored, one is clothed. Um, it's a good story, and the it's very, it's down to kind of like the grassroots of turtles, and it has that Mirage feeling where it's gritty and it's a samurai story, obviously. So it's cool. If I think that version of in this case, if you haven't read it at this point, it's Michelangelo, but he's a samurai. He's a lost samurai, and it's gritty. He can fit into other scenarios as well, so that's what makes it kind of fun.
yeah. I read something where I think they revealed that it was Mikey at the end of book one, or maybe
I think
I
it was,
don't.
but yeah.
But
Actually, no, yeah, you're right. You're right. It's been a few months.
but they wanted to kind of make that a surprise because people were asking, well, why is he the last Ronin? Because in the story, I mean, he's, correct me if I'm wrong, you've read it, I haven't, but he's obviously a little more battle, tested. He's older. The other
Right.
turtles have died, and he's, like you said, he's lost his path. He really has no master now. Splinter's dead. They're all dead. and he's the last of them, and he's kind of going on this mission. And the story I read was like Eastman wanted it to be Mikey because that he would be the last one that people would suspect.
For sure. Like me going into it, I was thinking I didn't even think Leonardo. I was thinking maybe Donatello because he was probably the most logical and sensitive, but you don't expect Michelangelo to be a survivor because he's not that he's careless, but he's fun and lighthearted. He's the closest one to being a
Right.
kid.
He was the most childish of the.
He lacked the most leadership, and he wasn't direct. So the fact that he is growing into that in his older years, I guess in talking in our terms, this is kind of like the DKR version of Ninja Turtles. It's like he's older. He has it's a lot more grittier. That's what makes it kind of a really really cool spin-off, and the way that it's drawn is in that realm of Mirage. And what's great about Mirage is when Eastman came out, who was one of his biggest influencers, Frank Miller. So it's like it has that grittiness and feeling to it.
Now I'm really interested. I may pick up that story in a collected form.
Aesthetically, it would appeal to you because it has that. It's not that bubblegum Ninja Turtles. It's very street. It's very gritty. You can see it in the way that just in the figure. I mean, this is a more simplistic version, but it has that that wash on it where it makes it grungy looking. So that's what makes it aged up.
Very cool.
So, yeah, it's definitely a win. I think they're pretty readily available at Target. I've seen batches. I don't see them all the time, but when I do see them, I usually see 5 or 6 of them at a time. So
yeah,
they're definitely out there.
Yeah.
I think NECA through the years, there's been a lot of turtle hype. I think they have leveled out the market to where they let collectors have that opportunity to, you're not chasing certain ones all the time. I think things are gradually available to where it kind of sifts out the scalpers, and it's about collecting, which is cool to me.
Very much so.
Overpay, or no one wants to go to Target 4 times a week.
I've been there twice this week.
Yeah, I'm actually, all jokes aside, I went to Target today and yesterday, but it's only because I've been kind of chasing the Keaton Multiverse Flash because I was too lazy to pre-order it, and now I'm paying the price.
You want the Flash?
Flash Keaton. I never
Flash Keaton.
Yeah, I have the unmasked, but I don't have the actual cowl. So
I haven't seen him.
I know he's gonna show up. He's gonna show up in the thousands. I've just got to be patient.
Right. I mean, all I've seen are two. I've seen the 2 versions of the Flash on the shelves. And I've seen one of the Affleck Batman, but I didn't grab it. I'll be honest, I'm just not a fan of that suit.
I have enough Batfleck variations. If Todd was going to hit a home run or DC was going to hit a home run, as per the teasers, we're seeing a blue and gray suit.
Right. I mean, and that figure was.
I would have bought 2 in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? Like I would have bought the bike. I would have bought that because we would have wanted to recreate that part of the teaser where all of a sudden Batfleck's in the blue and gray.
Right, and that figure.
Who doesn't want that? That's fucking amazing.
That figure, when I saw it was literally almost all black. And I was like, that doesn't look like the movie. That doesn't look like the blue gray.
Yeah, because for years
about the face is just off. It was like, if I'm going to get this final Affleck Batman, I want it to be a MAFEX or maybe a Mezco, something of a little higher quality.
And to me is like, make it different. Offer us that blue and gray.
Right.
That's a game changer when you do that. It's like
right.
So who knows? Maybe Title will do something, but
Here's what he's going to do. He's going to offer the blue and gray with the deluxe Batmobile
boom.
that's painted correctly. Boom. 2-pack.
Did you buy the Keaton Unmasked or no?
No, I didn't.
I see a lot of people repainting that one to make it look like the younger Keaton, and it looks so good.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's actually a pretty good idea. But yeah, I just here's the thing is I don't know why they gave him hair in the movie. That wig looks ridiculous. Just, let the man look natural. That would have looked perfect. But I don't know. I got my fingers crossed for this movie, man. But
I've there's been a few premieres this week, and I saw Reeves FX saw it. I saw him on Facebook, and he loved it. So that's given me some hope. I've even seen one or two people have seen it one or two times. So
really,
one bad
already?
thing. Yeah. There's some small releases. They go casual. But I think this is going to be something special. So I can't wait for us to really get deep dive. You're going to have to see it on time.
Yes.
Because what was it, the last movie that you were kicking your feet a little bit? Oh, the Batman movie.
Yeah. Tom Brady made me go watch that one.
There you go.
Anyways, well, that feels like a good place to put a pin in this one.
Okay. Yeah, I think since our last show, there's been a couple of solid releases. Nothing that's been insane, but I think one of the highlights is definitely for those who got the Batmobile. I think that was a cool pickup, and for you and me, I think we can equally say that Monkey King figure is something different. So
something different
cool, kind of getting the gears going about what's next. It's like, hey, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be like a fresh palette where it's like, okay, let's get my imagination going again. How can I use this dude? Like you said, I'm already kind of mapping out how he can fit in my little universe that I have here.
Yeah, you're like, who does he have beef with? Like,
yeah, everybody. He's gonna be a mischievous monkey, man.
Yeah. Like he has zero friends in the crowd.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's why he's got that long stick and he's defending himself.
That's right. That's right. He's got a. I mean, heavy is the head that wears the crown. He's the Monkey King. He's gonna have some competition.
Heavy is the head that has the monkey crown.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, no, that's I think a lot of good things are coming up, and I'd like to see back to what we were saying with the NECA stuff. Hopefully, a lot more companies have some Comic-Con exclusives. 'Tis the season, we're almost done with May, so we got June. So by the time July hits, I think next episode we'll have a lot more reveals to talk about. I think hopefully.
Oh. Yeah, you're right. It's getting to be that time of season, and
it's been quiet. I think the Q1 to Q2 has been moderate, but there hasn't been anything that's like kicking the door down. I think it's been consistent. I think we've been in the stores for me, and I've been kind of picking and choosing because I think this year, coming off of two huge fig years, I think we're kind of all easing in and we're saying, listen, let's pick what we really want. I think this year there's a new agenda. You know what I mean? I'm not completing waves so much. I'm picking certain iterations that I think are special now.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens once you get to a certain point in collecting when you're like, I don't have to have everything. I just have to have what makes my imagination spark,
Yep.
And that's, Monkey King is one of those ones. Because he's something that I've never seen before.
Yeah, he's pretty timeless as well. Like,
Yeah.
obviously he fits a certain era, a little older, vintage, but very cool, hyper realistic. It's
Yeah.
definitely gonna be it's definitely gonna be something that we'll review in person when we get it. So
Definitely.
for sure.
All right. Well, I think that
G&T Takeover was a
TMNT
success.
Teezus Takeover. That's us. Episode 36. All right.
Till next time.
Hit the comments, hit the likes, hit the comments,
Share it, man.
share,
Share it.
rate, review, all that special stuff. But we want to also thank you for tuning in, and yeah. Till next time.
Believe.
Believe us.
Believe.
Hey everyone, this is Grandpa Batman from Dallas, Texas. Tonight is well, whatever. Let's start that over. Here we go.
Okay.